swearing in ceremony. Through you, Mr. Warden, I'd like to invite Barbara DeGreen up here, the alternate member for Sudgate.
Good morning. I, Barbara DeGreen, having been elected or appointed to the office of alternate councillor in the municipality of the County of Bray, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, or the reigning sovereign for the time being. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, and we begin with roll call, please.
Councillor Mackey.
Present.
Councillor Gamble.
Present.
Councillor Burley.
Madam Clerk, I was here last county council meeting in the basement, all made the second count was being here. No? Present.
Councillor Carlton.
Present.
Councillor McQueen.
Present.
Councillor Desai.
Present.
Councillor Patterson.
Present.
Councillor Warden Hicks.
Here.
Councillor Clumpus.
Here.
Councillor Keaveney.
Present.
Councillor Body.
Present.
Councillor O'Leary.
Present.
Councillor Woodbury.
Present.
Councillor Milne.
Present.
Councillor Soever.
Present.
Councillor Bartnicki. Present. Councillor Robinson. Present. Councillor Hutchinson.
Present.
Thank you. Do we have any declaration of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll proceed. Looking for item number 6, adoption of minutes. We're starting with the committee of the whole minutes, April 11th, and the Warden's Forum minutes from April the 4th. Can I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Body and seconded by Councillor Bartnicki. Any discussion of those minutes? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? That's carried. Thank you. Item 6A, looking at the long-term care, Committee of Management minutes dated April the 9th. I'm looking for a mover, please. Councillor Keaveney, seconded by Councillor Clumpus. Any discussion of those minutes? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Oh, yes, Councillor Desai. You gotta be quick.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. My question with regards to the minutes is around the application for the new beds. At the time when the county council passed the motion to keep status quo around our long-term or county-run long-term care homes, we also passed a motion around getting additional beds. My question to staff, Mr. Warden, is where is that process right now? Have we retained a consultant around seeing what the ideal situation looks like? Or are we in the process of that? I'm just looking for an update.
So in the absence of Ms. Wingrove, Councillor Burley, I may ask you to add in, but the minutes do reflect, I believe, that there is a new application process coming. We were told, that we would have to wait for that, new application, process to present itself before we could make the application. Anything to add, Councilor Rowland?
No, that pretty well sums it up.
And Councilor Desai?
Thank you, Mr. Warden. In the meanwhile, though, are we looking at having a consultant to sort of drive what the situation would look like so that we are ready to go when the application process is released? And the reason I'm asking this is because we need to be in a position to be able to upgrade Rockwood Terraces in time for 2025. And I don't want to see any of those timelines get missed just because we're waiting on the government to.
Wendy, you recall the discussion around that?
Yes, I most definitely do. We are working towards and have spoken to the ministry staff on a few occasions now about the new application process. A letter was recently sent to the ministry, letting them know that this is what the direction is of council to move to the 128 beds, and again asking for application information. We also mentioned that we are working on something for Grey Gables, and at the Committee of Management meeting, we've had discussion and staff are working towards bringing something forward to talk about what the scope of work would look like for consulting firm to look at the options for Grey Gables. So there are things in the works.
Okay, Councilor McQueen?
Well, thank you, Mr. Warden. I'll be a little bit more blunt. On February 28th council meeting, this was raised at that time. And certainly the process of applying was mentioned that day by the CAO that you're still working on that process. But we did talk about getting on with regards to what that application would look like from Grey Gables and with regards to the consultant. And I do have a quote here from the CAO with regard to say, she says detailed analysis has not been done yet on the case for applying additional beds at Grey Gables. But what I would recommend is that we bring this forward to the next Committee of Long-Term Care, Committee of Management, and have the conversation of what scope of the project would be. That was February 28th, Mr. Warden, and this is into the April 25th. And I do see on the minutes that it does say from Councillor Robinson request that action item for Rockwood Terrace and Grey Gables redevelopment be included on the next agenda. So I can see that we're sort of spinning our wheels here a little bit, and I think the process that was given direction from this county council was that we would move forward with applying for more beds, but we do need to know in the background of what those numbers are, and I think moving forward with having a consultant, we did it for Rockwood Terrace, we need to do it for Grey Gables, and we need to get on with it. I know from conversations I've had with, at the time when Premier came to Markdale and had a tour of Grey Gables with our local MPP, Honorable Bill Walker, who is now a minister with the provincial government, said at that time, get your application in. So at that time he said, well, I don't care if it's on a napkin, I will deliver it to the Ministry of Health. So, quote unquote. So I had a conversation with him a week ago, and I know I had a conversation with Mr. Mackey, because he had the same conversation also with Mr. Walker. I'm not going to put words in his mouth. He's wondering what's going on. And we know we just had an announcement here in Owen Sound where there was, I think, 91 new beds. I think it was 91 new beds presented to the private sector. So we know the province is certainly there moving forward with granting long-term care beds. So I guess what I'm saying is let's get on with it.
Okay. Councilor Rowland?
Thanks, Mr. Warden. Councilor McQueen, you're 100% correct in your quote from the CEO. One thing County Council, I hope you're very clear, is that the Committee of Long-Term Management, we decided to run both projects together parallel. So Rockwood, 128 bed process to get that project going to meet the 2025 date. That's one project. The other project is more intense, is Grey Gables. We are trying to have conversations with the private sector to see how it's all going with their process and what they're trying to do along with the county. County Council made a motion here one time that said that, the county would work with the private sector to help out their process, and that was still on the books. We do need to, I guess you hire a consultant to look at Grey Gables, to look at the whole structure, see what we could do with it. It's gonna be a long, drawn out process. There's not as much pressure on Grey Gables as versus Rockwood. Rockwood has a time lead on it, Grey Gables doesn't. Now, as for the 90 bid process, what we've asked for, when that application comes out, we'll follow that process through, get it done. And at some point, the Committee of Long-Term Care will come back to County Council, recommending a consultant to look at the whole process and do with Grey Gables.
Councilor McQueen?
Well, I don't believe that's direction from this county council in the sense of the recent direction that was given, that we apply for a minimum of 90 new beds, and if the notice of motion needs to come from this board to give a clear direction, I'm prepared to do that. Second question I'd like to bring up, in more of a general, is Sienna is now looking after our, and I guess it would be already proven at some time that maybe in a closed session, we invite them to this county council to sort of give us an update and have that ability for this new council to ask some questions or how that process is moving forward. Because I know we had 10 new people around this table that weren't here when that decision was made. Secondly, I guess in the sense of the status with regards to their approval from the provincial government would be something that would also needs to be addressed too.
I didn't understand the last piece that you said there.
So as I understand through the process, is them being representing our 3 long-term care homes, they still are waiting on approval from the province.
Okay.
And I guess that status would be next year. But again, going back to, I'm in the belief that this body did give the direction to apply for new beds for Grey Gables, and if it needs clarity, I will bring that forward.
I don't think that there's, in fairness, Councilor McQueen, I don't think that there is a misunderstanding. I think what you're seeing is that there's been communications with the ministry, and the ministry is indicating that there is a new process being developed. It's not out as yet, and as soon as it is out, we'll have that and we'll be able to make the application under the new process. Unfortunately, a napkin doesn't cut it with the ministry officials. Yeah.
Certainly, I appreciate your comments with regards to when that new application's in play. But if we're not ready to know what those numbers are, we could be delaying it another year or 6 months, who knows? When we determined the 28 beds for Rockwood Terrace, we used Sienna to give us those numbers. And within a short period of time. I don't understand why we can't do the same for Grey Gables.
I'll let Lynn respond.
The process to identify the 28 beds for Rockwood Terrace was rather straightforward, based on the fact it was a new development in a new building, and it was just a matter of taking numbers that we know it costs to operate, costs for, estimated costs for construction, and put a new build together. When you're looking at the Grey Gables building, you're joining buildings, you're making beds, and we really need to look and say, what are all the options there? Because regardless of how you do it, you still have 66 beds in a 19, 20-year-old building that have 22 bed home areas that we've talked about, the challenges with staffing, with maintaining and providing a safe and secure environment. And moving forward, we want to make sure that we can tick all those boxes. So that would be a more complex type of evaluation. Plus, we're, just the fact of adding on site and what is that upstaffing like? It's not as simple of a project that way.
Councilor Milne?
Thank you, Mr. Warden, and I can appreciate Councilor McQueen's frustration because he of course, has a vested interest, or his municipality rather, has a vested interest in this project going forward. But if he's so confident in Mr. Walker's application process, I would challenge Mr. Walker to approve our request on a napkin tomorrow and sign it. And if that's the way we're going to run the process, and I don't think, as you mentioned, Mr. Warden, I don't think writing stuff on a napkin is going to cut it. There's a process in place. We got to wait for that process to play out. The staff are working on this, it sounds like, so we are getting on with it as far as I can hear.
Councilor Robinson?
Thank you, Warden, and through you. Certainly we understand that there's a new process that the provincial ministry is undertaking. So what we've done at the Long-Term Care Board of Management, and which was absolutely ratified by this council, was that staff was sending a letter to the ministry acknowledging that we want the redevelopment of Rockwood Terrace and that we are seeking to secure additional beds for both Grey Gables and Rockwood Terrace. That letter has been confirmed as being sent, and I would ask through you, Warden, that letter be circulated to all members of County Council. So that letter was sent to the ministry in advance of providing the application, so that the ministry understood that Grey County is very serious about the redevelopment and the request for additional beds for 2 of our long-term care homes. So I believe that acknowledgement is above and beyond what we need to do while we are waiting for the application process. Certainly at the Long-Term Care Board of Management Committee, we are taking this serious, and what we have done is divided the 2 projects for Grey Gables and Rockwood Terrace as separate and distinct projects that could work in parallel, have some commonalities, but that recognizing that they are at different stages of development. The intent is to build and redevelop Rockwood Terrace. That is a commitment from this county council, staff, and our long-term care committee, and also look at advancing Grey Gables in terms of it is already retained as a long-term care home within our county inventory, and it's looking at how we can expand with the additional beds for that long-term care home. We were asking for the May agenda that we would have separate action items on the agenda. Apparently our meeting for May is canceled. We will proceed with that in June and certainly provide updates to this council.
Councilor Bartnicki, did you have your hand up? Okay. Councilor McQueen.
Well, I appreciate the conversation around the table, and I guess the direction of this county council was to move forward with applying for more beds for our long-term care homes within Grey County. Certainly Grey Gables is in Grey Islands, but certainly today I'm wearing my Grey County hat. So as far as best interest, it's the best interest in the county itself. And I think this council has decided that Grey Gables is an important part of a different decision to keep it in place. I guess the question of clarity is, if this application, when this application process comes in play, certainly we all support moving forward with Rockwood Terrace with the 28 beds. Are we going to just be applying for the 28 beds to get that project moving on until we determine what the number is for Grey Gables? I guess that wasn't clear back in February 28th, because at February 28th it was certainly indicated from the CAO that it would be added and we would be moving forward with that process. Again, it's April 25th. Certainly with regards to Mr. Walker, I'm certainly prepared to set up a meeting with myself, the warden, the CAO, and certainly maybe the chair of the management committee with Mr. Walker, our local MPP, to get some clarity, because why would we not work with our local MPP, along with who is a minister, who I would think probably has a pretty good understanding or a good relationship with the Minister of Health. Time is of the essence, I think, in the sense of making that application. Arguments 2 years ago was, well, there's not the process of applying for more beds. And I think it's quoted from Mr. Body, the mayor of Owen Sound, that when we decided to move forward with Grey Gables, the efficiencies of 66 beds at Grey Gables is not there. The efficiency level needs to be brought up to make that to at least 100 beds to bring it to an efficiency level, which then in turn does save us money on the long run. And I'm not going to put the words of Mr. Body, but he did make that comment at that county council meeting when we decided we were going to move forward with applying for new beds. So I guess in a sense of clarity, and certainly from a notice of motion, that maybe we need to send some direction there to give that clarity, is to move forward with the consultant to find out what that right number is.
Councilor Mackey.
Thanks, Gordon. Just to my friend, Councilor McQueen, the long-term care committee certainly has recognized the direction given by county council. It may not be as quick as what you would anticipate, but as Lynn mentioned, we are going at it in 2 pieces. One is the redevelopment of Rockwood, which is the additional application for 28 beds, and getting a terms of reference, for a consultant to bring back a price to analyze what the best course going forward for Grey Gables. So we haven't lost sight of that. and they're certainly moving in that direction. The
Okay.
wheels don't turn as quickly as we'd always like.
Good discussion, any further discussion? Call the question, all those in favor? Are there any opposed? That's carried, thank you very much. Moving to item 6C now, long-term care committee management closed minutes dated April 9. Those in your packages, I need a mover, Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Desai. Any discussion of those minutes? We'd have to go into closed session, of course, if there was to be discussion. Otherwise, Councillor Desai?
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Just seeking clarity on the process of that. If we do have any discussion or any questions regarding those minutes, is that something we would have to bring forward as a notice of motion to the next meeting to go into close, or is that?
No, Councillor, I'm just simply indicating you could ask the question, but we would have to go into closed session in order to address the question. Any questions? Okay, then I call the question. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? That is carried. Thank you. Have no closed meeting matters. Moving on to bylaws, and we have a number of them. I'll look for a mover, and we're going to do all of them in one swoop. You can ask questions about any of them that you wish. Councillor Burley moves, seconded by Councillor Desai. That's on the table. Either. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bylaws at play. Are there any questions about any of the bylaws before us today? All straightforward. Very good. Then I'll call the question. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? That's carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 9, good news and celebrations. Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. If you haven't heard, the 31 Canadian Brigade Group, 120 soldiers, are coming into Hanover this weekend. This will be a first for us. They are deploying to the whole weekend at our PNH Center. They will be living, sleeping on the arena floor. They'll be throughout the town, and they're coming in as if a natural disaster or chemical spill, which is what our little exercise is about. And you're more than welcome to come into Hanover, talk to the soldiers, interact with them. They're pleased to speak to anyone about what they're doing. So it's a good exercise for us in practice in case it ever does happen.
Thank you. Councillor Mel.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, and I've had actually a few inquiries about how Maple Fest went because of the interest in the event, and I can assure everybody that Maple Fest was a huge success in Holstein, and we thank everybody that did come down and join us. It was actually a record day on Saturday. Hard to imagine the difference in weather between Saturday and Sunday, but it is Grey County, so we were prepared for it, and I was actually astounded the number of people that come out on Sunday in spite of the inclement weather. So thank you to everybody.
Councillor Matthew.
Well, I certainly appreciate that update from Councillor Miller. How Maple Fest went.
Edge of your chair, wondered.
The Township of Chatham Fire Department is having their annual yard sale. It's one of the largest yard sales in Grey County. It's been going on for about 30 years, and they typically raise $10,000 to $15,000 for the local fire department. It's taking place in the village of Desborough in the arena. Doors open at 8 o'clock. I would, if you want to get there for some of the best items available, show up around 7 to line up. Thank you.
Councillor Desai.
Yeah, Mr. Warden, this Saturday, we're having a family fishing day in Quebec, another veteran pond. The pond is restocked by the MNRF every year. There's going to be food, French fries, female on a bun, stuff. I'll be serving. If anyone wants to come by and see me serving, I can share, I guess.
No fish on the menu?
Sorry?
No fish on the menu?
If you catch some, which By the way, very sweet of you to provide an update on the Maple Fest.
I knew you'd appreciate it.
In the evening, there's a trivia night in Rockland. if anyone's interested to. You don't have to win, although Fair Highlands Council does got a good team on a regular basis. So, Mr. Milne, if you'd like to, join us.
Pretty busy. You'll be there. Councilor Keaveney.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I just wanted to acknowledge that the Golden Heirs Ladies Choir in Meaford is celebrating their 50th anniversary with a concert at Meaford Hall at 2 o'clock on May the 5th. And I would encourage anyone who loves the sound of a great choir to come out and hear this group. There are still 2 original members who will be participating in the choir, and of course there'll be cake and a lovely celebration. But 50 years is pretty special for ladies to be providing music, so come on out if anyone is able on May the 5th.
2 original members, 50 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Councilor McQueen.
Certainly on May 4th, May the 4th be with you, we're having our second annual home and garden show at the Usherton Arena, starting at 9 o'clock for that day. And it was a great thing to see at home shows. Come on out. Secondly, I heard something on the CBC radio this morning about a video being shot at the old school in Hanover by from a country singer. So I guess he's well. It escapes me his name offhand because I'm not. Jamie Warren, right. So anyway, so yeah, that's being shot, which I thought was sort of trivial in the sense that it's in the old school and he's redoing the video, I guess it is. So I guess the mayor of Hanover would be front and center.
Fancy.
Guitar.
That looks like it. Thank you. Then I'll look for a motion to adjourn, please. Moved by Councilor Patterson, seconded by Councilor McQueen. All those in favor? Any opposed? That is carried. Thank you.